Death of an Anderson baby. Tonight, this man, Dylan Tate, is facing charges of neglect in connection with Harlan Haynes' death. According to court documents, Harlan had extensive trauma. Investigators think Tate may have tried to cover up Harlan's injuries by crashing his car before taking him to the hospital. Tate was dating the baby's mother, who is also facing charges. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Dan Spieler.
And I'm Fanchen Stinger. It is a deeply disturbing story, and now more disturbing revelations and some very serious questions tonight about how the Department of Child Services handled baby Harlan's case. We are now learning the baby's uncle was a DCS caseworker himself and says he even tried to get custody of the child after the first allegations of abuse back in December.
Fox 59's Gabby Gonzalez has been looking into the timeline of DCS and its involvement in this case, and she joins us now with the latest information. Gabby, what do we know?
Well, Harlan's uncle was a DCS caseworker out of Grant County from last fall through March 1st. That's according to the state. Now, the uncle's lawyer says that the agency this man worked for failed him and his family by not doing more to protect this child. Now, the state says that the uncle resigned. He says that he was actually terminated and locked out of DCS's systems.
1-year-old Harlan Haynes' life was cut short in February. He was taken to the hospital struggling to breathe. A napkin or paper towel was later found in his airway. The injuries on his body ranging from widespread bruising to bite marks on his legs and injuries to his genitals.
It's absolutely unimaginable what baby Harlan suffered.
Bob Summerfield represents Harlan's dad and says they believe DCS did not take the right approach to prevent the baby's death.
And because of the lack of procedures, because of the lack of protocols, baby Harlan died a horrific death.
DCS first came in contact with Harlan on December 27th. Hospital staff contacted them after the baby was brought in with a fractured leg and other injuries. On January 19th, the assessment into the abuse allegations was finalized and approved without any follow-up. On February 25th, Harlan died.
The hospital called DCS. DCS was involved. The police should have been involved in this case and weren't, and there's really not a good explanation for it.
Why didn't they just call the police? Why didn't they just go ahead and move Harlan to a safer location just for a maybe?
The DCS assessment shows doctors said Harlan's December injuries were, quote, concerning for inflicted trauma, but not definitive. A DCS caseworker eventually writing there was, quote, no evidence to support physical abuse against the alleged perpetrator.
This child was returned to this family. No one from DCS even went to do a home visit to see what was going on.
Summerfield says Harlan's uncle, who was a DCS employee, was willing to take in the child back in December to keep him safe, but no action was taken.
He was in a tough spot. He could not intervene per policy as a DCS employee. He could intervene as an uncle with his wife and beg for him to give them baby Harlan.
And we reached out to DCS about this case today, and while they say they can't comment on the specifics of this, they did tell us, quote, it is heartbreaking anytime there's a death of a child. DCS investigates every case to the best of their ability with the information they have on hand. DCS staff are passionate about their jobs and do everything in their power to keep our most vulnerable safe. We'll, of course, keep you updated with anything that happens in Harlan's case moving forward. In the newsroom tonight, I'm Gabby Gonzalez, Fox 59 News.
Such a disturbing case and a lot of tough questions.